Selena. It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them heels on and prove.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other. With the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hey y'all, I hope everything is doing, well, I said I hope everything. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm not going to be on here too long. I know there's a lot more action going on these YouTube streets. And you know, I'm trying to keep my head above the drama. I'm not trying to entertain none of that foolishness. So I'm trying to just keep going in the right direction. And I thank you guys for those who come to support that movement of, because, you got to keep your head on a swivel out here in these YouTube streets. But I saw this, this content creator. I was subbed up to him, but how you subbed up to so many people, you don't get around to seeing everybody's video. And one day I was just going through and I was looking at different videos and I saw this guy and I was just like, the stuff that he was saying was just like, I mean, you know how sometimes maybe somebody has said it, but it just really kind of clicked to you at the time. And I think that that's kind of what happened with me. I was just thinking of so many different things at the time. And this video came across and I was just like, you know what? I never really thought about it this way. And it was just kind of like a light bulb moment kind of came on. And, some people say, well, you've been out here for a minute, dating or whatever. You should know this stuff. But sometimes we be thinking we are, I would say, we think that we're knowledgeable of things, but we're not really knowledgeable all the time. There's always something that we're missing or something we've ignored. And I think a lot of the times, sometimes we catch things in seasons. Like we don't catch everything right away. Some of us do, some of us don't. And it doesn't make one of us mentally slow than the other, but sometimes the way we grow is differently. And I think that when I kind of, going through certain things and some things just doesn't make sense then until later on. And I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but I thought this video was really cool. It's not long, so I'm not going to be on here too long, but it's just going to be just like a little Thank you so much, Action. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It lets me know that my work is not in vain. I really wasn't going to go live today because I had some homework to do, but since I finished both of my research paper and another paper I had to do, I said, why not go live? Because like I said, I just been trying to stay out the way of the drama and just watch on the sidelines. So that's where I'm going to continue to stay. But I know my name's going to always come up. That's something I can't avoid. But for the most part, as long as I'm over here doing what I do, then hey, I'm only responsible for me. Thank you for coming through, Movado, my girl Movado, Black Ubiquity, and thank you again, Action. You blessed me to get my first super chat. And please, guys, remind me. I don't know if Movado can remind me. Anybody can remind me if you come here. Before I wanted to do it this month, but okay, in May I want to do a giveaway. I want to bless somebody with something. So I'm trying to get my stuff together, and so that I can be able to bless somebody in my chat with, maybe $10 or $15 is something to get a sandwich or some coffee, whatever. But I want to be able to do that. So please remind me, because sometimes I do flip, hey Hassan, hey CC, how are you? So shout out to Action for helping me with my first super chat. I really appreciate you. And Movado was, I think, the first one. Usually Black Ubiquity is the first person to come in. But I'm going to share this with you because I thought this was pretty interesting. There's a lot of people, especially single women in the church. They go to church and they be praying to God for a miracle to meet a God-fearing man. And that's great, but you can't ask for something that you're not. And especially if you're portraying something that that's not even godly. I had to even go back and look at some of the ways that I dress. Like modesty is, to me, in this day and age, is dead, because a lot of women, if you go look at the award shows, if you look at if you go out, just for dinner, say for instance someone's taking you out to dinner, you see all these women dressing real revealing. The man's head is just on a swivel, because he cannot just not look. There's so much flesh that's out there, so it's kind of hard, for men, even though we tell men, well, just don't look. But at the same time, men can't help it. Some women already advertise what they have, and it's like there's no mystery, there's no mystique to you, because you're showing everything. Now, for some of us women that are curvy, we're not going to be able to hide a lot of things. We would most of the time have to wear looser fitting clothes or a little bit more baggier clothes. But most of us, if we're curvy in some type of way, if we wear a whole I would say a satchel or some kind of sack on us, we still would. We can't hide our curves, but there's still ways that you can dress modestly without being revealing, without showing too much, without things being too tight. And so I had to kind of look at some of my wardrobe, and I had to go back and look and say, there's some things that I can't wear, and there's some things I definitely don't wear to church. That's just out of order. And you have to kind of read the room, but also you have to do what fits your body as well. Some women that are really curvy, their clothes is too tight. It looked like a can of biscuits about to bust, and they got the titties busting all out. And then they have if you have a big butt or big hips, it's just junked up in there like a sack of potatoes. And so we have to really be careful of how we dress as women, especially when we go to church. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Randy. Or wherever we go, you just have to present yourself in a way that you would be proud of. Now, if you're proud of going around here showing your goods to the whole world, then hey, that's you. But for some of us that do want a different type of outcome, or we want a different type of man, that man will not be attracted to that. They will look, but they won't wife you up. They won't ask you out on a second date or a first date. They're just going to look and they're going to keep walking. Because most men, I would say men that actually really want someone decent, they don't want somebody that has their body where the whole world can see it. So, but some men do. It just depends on what type of man you're looking for. So let me play this. So if this is more for women that, and you don't have to be a Christian woman or a woman in the church. I really want to talk about, don't ask for something that you're not. So if you're asking or praying for something, and you're not portraying some of those traits, don't ask for or think the man should have this or that when you're not that. That's just the point of this whole lot. So shout out to, I hope I'm not mispronouncing this young man's name. His name is Darwynn McPherson. So he's like I said, I really like his content. So you guys check him out. It says Christian women's 8 biggest dating problems. The Shocking Truth. He has a lot more things out content. He has 7 reasons good men are rejecting modern women. He had one about old bitter women. I need to look at that one. And he has a lot of different subjects on here. So shout out to him. And I just had to, up under his comments, you'll see my comment. I said, "You're awesome. I needed that correction." Some things, like I said, I be thinking I'm right, but I might be dead wrong on. And I like it when people give me a different perspective. And it's not about me being a pick me or wanting validation from a man, but it's also about some things that you think is right. You might be dead wrong, and you need to change that. You need to change that in your life, or you need to look at it. You need to look at it in a different way, because you might be missing out on something or someone, because you have an ideal of what you think it is when it might be totally different. We have to realize men and women are totally different in a lot of different ways. Now, I'm not talking about these men that act like women. I'm talking that are effeminate, that that are more emotional and catty, like women. I'm talking about real men that is masculine, that is a man. You don't have to wonder. So let me hush and let this play. Okay, let me see.
Contradict your words. You seek attention on social media, dress immodestly, and expect the man of God to pursue you. This hypocrisy is why many Christian women remain single.
Have you ever seen some of those women that they wear some revealing clothes, and then they go? I seen a couple of them on Pop the Balloon that say, "Oh, I want a God-fearing man," but when you look at them, they look like they done got off the pole. Now, that could be me being judgmental, but most people are going to judge on what they see on the outside. So you say you want a God-fearing, hey, why? You say you want a God-fearing man, and then you dress in a way that may be not modest, and that man gonna be like, nah, whatever. Hey, Naomi, good to see you. Sorry, hey, Goten, how are you? Hey, Carl, good to see you. Long time no see. So I'm gonna keep playing this.
Modern Christian dating scene is plagued by contradictions. Women profess faith but chase worldly validation. They desire leadership but reject submission. They seek godly men but ignore godly principles. This disconnect is the root of their singleness. So in this video, we're going to reveal Christian women's 8 biggest dating problems. And I'll give my final thoughts after that, so make sure you stick around to the end. First thing first, modesty is dead, and so is discernment. Christian women often dress in ways that seek attention rather than honor God.
I have been guilty of that. And the reason why is because a lot of the times when we look at social media, we look at what the world wants you to look, and how you will look more attractive and sexy, and you'll attract a certain type of man if you look this way. We all kind of get in, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but some of us get into that trap where we're trying to attract a certain type of man, or we're trying to look in a certain way to get maybe the attention of certain person or people. And we forget that dress for yourself. Yes, dress attractive, but also don't dress for, I would say, don't dress for so much attention, because some of the attention that you are getting, that's the very attention that you don't want. You most of the time when you dress in a certain way, how can I say this? You're going to get the type of attraction and the type of men that you say you don't want. So I would say modesty, and modesty could be different for a lot of women on how they dress. So I'm not going to go into the specifics of that, sorry. But I will say that what is too much. Well, what is revealing. If you're showing too much, if your stuff is too tight. Like I said, some people, they can't even walk because their dress is too tight. um you you know, I don't care what nobody say. You know when you getting a lot of attention, and it's not because you are really dressed really beautiful. You're dressed to show your body. People, you know, men, if they're heterosexual, they like titties, they like booty, like they like hips, legs. So women already know what men like, you know, fleshly. So I would just say, uh, don't do don't do things for social media. You know what I'm saying? You because it's a lot of that. You get the wrong type of attention, the wrong type of men in your DMs. Everybody is not worthy of your time, but see, sometimes people confuse you with somebody else because you're saying that you want something. You say you're a woman of you know of standards, but you're dressing like a prostitute. Like so, you just can't have it all. I'm just gonna just say that. Hey Smitty, what's good? So let me.
Scripture instructs women to dress modestly with decency and propriety, adorning themselves with good deeds appropriate for women who profess to worship God. Yet, many showcase their bodies on social media, contradicting their professed values. This lack of modesty not only misleads others, but also reflects a deeper issue, a heart not fully submitted to God. Modesty is not about fashion, it's about faith. The second thing, celibacy sounds holy, but lust still rules. You hear things like, I'm waiting on God, I'm saving myself. But your DMs tell a different story. Your outfit.
Have you ever heard that the church girls are the most freakiest ones? Church girl, they say the church girl is the most freakiest ones. Some of that is true. I remember coming up, it was a lot of girls like that I was coming up with as teenagers. I had no idea until I heard from somebody, you know, a few other people. They out there getting it in. I mean, they was at youth ministry, they was at choir rehearsal. They were doing a lot of church things, a lot of godly things, so to say, but their heart wasn't in it because they was out there wilding out. You know what I'm saying? And I was the one that felt like approved. See, people when some older people maybe saw me because I was more developed, they thought I was out there doing that, and I was the total opposite. So from the girls that looked all sweet and looked all, like they weren't doing nothing, they was doing a lot of something. So a lot of these women sometimes, just because they go to church, just because they say I'm a Christian, and then they say, oh, I'm gonna, wait on my husband and all that kind of stuff, they just haven't met the right person that would get them out of their panties. You know what I'm saying? So and then when they meet that person that get them out their panties, then that celibacy, that abstinence is over with. You know what I'm saying? Until you get heartbroken, then I'm gonna be abstinent again. And I'm not saying people don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes because we're sexual beings. But what I'm saying is the people that kind of profess to be more than what they are, you'll be shocked if you was a fly on the wall to seeing how some people do. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting. A lot of church girls Christian women get a bad rep because there's so many pretenders. I'm gonna say this: it's a difference between somebody that's trying to live a holy life and someone that goes to church. Church women are, they gonna do what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do what they do. And some of them, just like the women that's not in the church, are some hoes. Now the women that's trying to live a holier life, they may make a mistake, but they don't keep doing it. They try to do the right thing for the most part. They try to, live a life that first of all God would be proud of, but with who they would be proud of. And they don't have a high body count. They watch who they deal with. And yeah, I mean, that's the difference to me. Because church girls, yeah, they gonna get it in. They some hoes, and church girls could be 50-year-old women. You know what I'm saying? Could be 60-year-old women. They just go to church, but they're not transformed. So it's a difference between being transformed and just going to church. It's people that can quote the scriptures from all the way from Genesis to Revelations and know the book of Enoch and know the book of so and so and so and so, but they still, it ain't transformed. So that's another thing we have to look at. Hey, hey, General, how are you? Good to see you. So there's a lot of things that we have to look at,
Fists tell a different story. And your body count, it screams the truth. According to Focus on the Family, while 60% of Christian singles claim to be abstinent, over half still admit to engaging in sexual activity outside of marriage. And here's the issue. Most of you aren't celibate. You're sexually inactive until your next slip up. The Bible doesn't call for sexual discipline only in public. It calls for purity in heart, body, and spirit.
So that basically means what I talked about earlier, how you have these people that you think are so pious and so, got they so heavenly minded, they know earthly good, those type of people. And then when you find out from Sister So-and-so and Sister Shirley, honey, she busting it wide open for Deacon So-and-so, who's also married. So, people need to really quit with the appearance of holiness and actually try to be. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm telling you, there's been so many times this week I wanted to go live and cuss these mother suckers out. I'm telling you. But at the same time, I have to remember that I can't say I'm something, and then be doing everything that everybody else is doing. Yeah, every now and then I have a slip up. I ain't gonna lie, I'll have a slip up in a minute and tell you off or maybe whatever. But at the same time, I can't keep doing it over and over again, then saying, oh, I'm trying to live holy, I'm trying to live right. And you just out there doing God knows what. But yeah, I have my times where I slip up because some people I really feel like deserve it. But at the same time, I always say God not gonna hold me accountable for those people. He gonna hold me accountable for me at the end of the day, right? And so some of these people that go to church, especially some of these church women, they try to act all pious and they better than everybody, and they want to be in every ministry in the church. They want to be and be sleeping with the pastor or be sleeping with the deacon or sleeping with all the men in the church, So this is what makes the church look bad. When we have people like this that have a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof. So it's like, people really do a lot of fronting. And I don't want to be one of those ones that be fronting. If I'm gonna go to hell, I'm gonna go hell first class. That means I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and forget the consequences. But don't act like I'm something that I'm not. I always tell you, I'm a work in progress. Some days it's gonna be good. Hey, I'm gonna be trying to do the right thing, and then someday I'm like, nah, F it. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel, and blah 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 blah. But then I always have to catch myself, right? I always have to catch myself. That's just like, when you're dating people and you want to bust it wide open for these men, you have to realize and let it be known. I want this in a relationship. I'm not wanting something casual. If that's what you want, you might need to move on to the next broad, because that's not me. I'm not one of these people that be going to church and be acting like I'm all pious, and then like I said, I'm ready to get it in. We forget about Jesus, So I'm one of them people. If I tell you, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want, that's exactly what I mean. And if that's not what time you on, then you keep on going and find a broad that's good for you, that will give you what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I can be a little too straightforward. I'm trying to, I'm not in my articulate mood today, or nothing like that. So yeah, I'm just not.
Flee from sexual immorality. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. God doesn't want you to look celibate. He wants you to be holy. Until you start fearing God more than your loneliness, you'll keep attracting lustful men and repelling godly ones. Number 3, validation culture makes you a slave to attention. You post thirst traps, then pray for a husband. You crave.
Yeah, and like I said, I have done that, especially on Instagram. I ain't gonna lie, I have done that. Now, when I post pictures on here about myself, I'm showing the progress of who I am as a woman. I'm showing that because for at one point people think I couldn't, I had to wear a wig and makeup every day. When they found out in real life, I don't wear that every day. I wear that every now and then when I'm either going live or when I'm going somewhere out. I'm going out. So for some reason, people thought I was bald headed and looked like Shrek up under my makeup. But once they found out that, hey, I can go without makeup, I can go without a wig, I can wear my hair. This is the progress. I'm showing you me. I'm showing you this is who I am when I wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I don't wake up with a full face of makeup. When I wake up in the morning, I don't wake up with a wig. Okay. So I'm showing you who I am up under the enhancements, I would say. So I am not trying to do no thirst traps. I'm just showing you who I am becoming, who I am, who I'm proud of, which is me. Now I try to watch, a little bit of more how I dress, that I don't be dressing too, revealing and stuff like that. But, like I said, some things, in your opinion may be different, but I am trying to be a little bit more cautious on how I present myself in public, even in not in public, but especially when people see me. I don't want it to be like I'm just a total walking contradiction. We all have our hypocritical ways at times, but I don't want to be a walking contradiction, all the time. Like something got to be consistent.
Comments more than commitment. Let's call it what it is. You're addicted to affirmation, not transformation. According to the American Psychological Association, validation-seeking behavior on social media is linked to anxiety, depression, and narcissistic traits. And yet, Christian women line up for likes, not leadership. You don't want to be loved. You want to be seen, praised, worshiped.
Facts. We all have, I'm gonna say me. We all, to an extent, me want some attention, especially in the past. We all wanted it. I wanted it. Everybody in the whole world wants to be seen. Nobody wants to be ignored. Some people do the most to get it, but I felt like I haven't been did the most, but I've always, everybody wants to be seen by someone. I'm not saying just anybody, but someone that is, that you deem worthy of, that you feel is deemed worthy of seeing you. You want to be seen. But then you have to realize whoever you are, if you work on yourself inside and then it comes outside, the right people and the right person will eventually see it. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned you don't have to try so hard. And it was something that my cousin had told me the other day, which was just out of the blue. She told me, she said, you know what, Selena? She said, you've grown so much. And she was like, I saw that picture of you without makeup and without your lace front. She said, you are so beautiful. She said, I'm so glad that you came to the realization that you don't need that all the time, that that's something that's, that doesn't make you or break you. And that really kind of resonated with me because I was at one point, a long time ago, I wanted to be seen. I wanted somebody to be deemed as somebody beautiful. But whatever you are, especially when it's on the inside, it's going to come out on the outside. And you don't have to try so hard. You don't have to put on 10 coats of makeup. You don't have to put on a different type of wig every day unless you choose to, but either way, be happy with you and whoever the beauty, like your beauty on the inside. If you learn to be kind to people, if you learn to work on yourself, your flaws and things like that, your beauty on the inside is going to come out on the outside, and people can't help it just to notice you. Even when you smile at people, I get so many people that are drawn to me when I smile. And so that's the beauty that came from the inside that God gave me. I didn't have to make it up. I didn't have to draw it on. It's just there. So when women and men learn to work on the inside, it's going to come on your outside. And the right people and the right person will see it in due time. So you don't have to try so hard. So when she told me that, that resonated to me, because at one point I didn't realize how much I was trying so hard until I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just be me. Hell, if I look crazy, if my face look crooked, or if one jaw up and the other one down, if my eyes look too little or too big, whatever it is, this is who I am, you know. But I just wanted to say that.
But here's the danger. They love the praise of men more than the price of God. If attention becomes your
Hey,
drug,
Oak Cliff.
you will never be satisfied by one man's love, because love requires discipline, but attention is always on demand. You
Hey,
can't
Billy.
serve God and serve your followers. One of them has to go. Number 4, fantasy replaces faith, and it's feminine delusion. You're not waiting on God. You're waiting on Prince Charming, who's 6'4", makes 6 figures, leads Bible study, takes you on a helicopter dates, and never asks for submission.
And that's unrealistic. So I guess these people, some women, because they think they're praying for it, that they're going to get it. That's the unrealistic. Everybody does not make 6 figures. And first of all, do you make 6 figures? And so you're looking for a man to make 6 figures. Okay, that's fine. If you're blessed with that, that's great. But there's going to be something that man doesn't have. He might make 6 figures, but he might be uncaring, or he might not love you like he should, or that love you the way you need him to love you. He might be real selfish and self-centered. So there's always going to be something that is not right. Why? Because we're all imperfect people, and we're all flawed human beings. And some people don't care if they're just gonna be, even if they're a mean person, they're gonna stay mean. If they're a selfish person, they're gonna stay selfish. They ain't trying to improve. They ain't trying to do none of that. They like, accept me for who I am. So either way, you're gonna have problems, okay? Maybe not more than some people, but you're going to have problems. You're going to have disagreements. Everything is not going to be what you want it to be. You might not be everything that man wants you to be. You might be too talkative. He wants you to shut up sometime. So there's always something, is what I'm saying. And I remember growing up watching Disney movies. The Disney movies mess you up. They mess little girls up. There is no Prince Charming waiting for you. There is no Prince Charming that's going to rescue you. And I wish that we would get that in our little girls' heads, that this is a fantasy. Okay? Every man not going to make 6 figures. Every man's not going to be nice looking. Every man ain't going to be tall. Every man not going to have all their hair. Somebody's going to be bald. Somebody's going to look like Krusty the Clown, because they have male pattern baldness. So this is what's going on. This is what we have to look at and be realistic. You know what I'm saying? So this is what messed me up in my early 20s, looking for Prince Charming that do not exist. So now I'm more realistic, and I can see things for what they are. Now, some things I ain't putting up with. I don't care what I ain't putting up with certain things. There's certain things breaker for me. But there's some things I'm like, you know what? It's not that serious. It's not that serious that somebody is 5'7" and I'm 5'5", right? It's not that serious, right? But at one point in my 20s, I'm like, no, you had to be 6 foot and up. Like, that's stupid. If I say I'm 5'5", and I'm saying I won't accept anybody 6 foot, below 6 foot, that's kind of stupid. I'm short as well. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. So we have to stop. We want what we want, but at the same time, we have to realize that we're not going to get everything we want either. And we're not going to get everybody. If you say you're a Christian woman, you're not going to get somebody that wants to teach Bible study, or be a preacher, or be a teacher in the church or be a deacon. Sometimes you might be, you never know. God might send somebody in your life that may not be as maybe on a higher spiritual level like you. He might be just not there, but he's willing to learn. Okay, so you're gonna bypass him because he's not what you think, a man of God should be. And some of these people that be in church be perpetrating. They don't even be what they teach and preach about. So you have to kind of compromise on stuff, and you have to be realistic. Everything is not going to be what you want it to be, and you just when you get older, you'll realize that it's really slim pickings.
Man, he doesn't exist. The problem isn't that you have standards. It's that you've mistaken fantasy for discernment. According to Psychology Today, women exposed to romantic media like rom-coms, dating shows, and clean Christian fiction develop unrealistic expectations for relationships and communication. And spiritually, it's worse. Fantasy says, God owes me a perfect man. Faith says, God, shape me for the man you choose. But as long as fantasy leads, you'll reject the very man God sends because he didn't arrive with the soundtrack and soft lighting. That's not divine delay. That's delusion. Number 5.
Right.
Daddy issues create dangerous desires. You didn't want a man, you wanted a savior.
If you want somebody to save you, and you're 30 years old, you're 40, 50, and you didn't get that from daddy, good luck with that. I don't think I know that first of all, your husband can, or the man that you're with cannot be your daddy. That's number one. You only have one daddy, and if you never had it, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it unless you get it unless you look at God the Father as a father. Other than that, you're not going to have an earthly daddy if you just didn't have it. That's unfortunate for some. And but you have to look at that man, as your husband, as your significant other, not as your dad, not as your mom, not as your savior, not as nobody else but who he is. Okay. So if you're looking for a savior, if you're looking somebody to be, like I said, Prince Charming, somebody that saves you from everything and you never have to go through anything, good luck with that. It might work for you, but it definitely didn't work for me. So, and I'm not going to expect that either. I'm going to expect him just to be the man he is. Now, I'm not saying your husband should be your protector, but he's not somebody that can take away your sins. He's not somebody that should be treating you like a child, like your daddy would. Okay. So like I said, you have to give people their proper role. This is their role. Let them be that role. Don't try to put other roles on a person and then blame him for it. If your daddy wasn't there or he didn't do what he was supposed to do, that's on your dad. But you can't put that on your man. You can't put that on your husband. That is not his responsibility. So, we have to remember that.
Father was absent, abusive, or emotionally unavailable. Many Christian women started chasing healing through romance. But here's the truth. A husband is not your therapist.
Hey, Phoenix.
He's not your redemption arc. According to 2023 Barna study, over 60% of Christian women who grew up with a strong father figure admitted to entering relationships that were emotionally unhealthy, controlling, or spiritually unaligned. That's not love. That's spiritual substitution. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Until your heart is healed by the Father, every man will be asked to fix something he didn't break. And that expectation will crush him and disqualify you. Before you seek covenant, seek correction. Number 6, your standards are so high no one qualifies, including you. You want a man who makes 6 figures, read the Bible daily, goes to therapy, leads the church, and has never had sex. Meanwhile, you're emotionally unstable, drowning in debt, and still texting your ex. According to YouGov polling, over 50% of single Christian women report dating struggles due to lack of emotional available, financially stable, and spiritually mature men. But here's the twist. Those same women often don't meet their own criteria. Do not think of yourself more highly than you are, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment. Stand.
Have y'all ever watched Kevin Samuels and you see some of the women up there and he say, rate yourself, and they say, I'm a 10, and you like 10 where? In their mind, they're so delusional, and that's good to have high self-esteem, but there's a difference between having high self-esteem and being just just delusional. And I think a lot of times people are delusional. They don't see themselves for who they are. I don't even think I'm a 10, so I know that there's things that I need to work on. So I'm not going to even set myself up for people to be laughing at me, because I know it's some things I need to work on. So when you asking or praying to God for some kind of miracle person, you need to also be working on yourself as well and making sure that what you're asking for, that you're actually trying to be, or you're asking God to help you to be. Because asking for something and you don't even have those same qualities is a waste of your breath, even praying. And really God's just going to look at you and be like, you're not ready. Because if you can't see yourself for who you are, if you can't see your own faults and your own shortcomings and things that you need to work on, you're asking for somebody loyal, but you can't even be loyal to the littlest thing, then you have no business for asking someone that's loyal, right? If you can't be loyal in a friendship, but you're asking loyalty in a husband, that's just not going to work. So somebody, and it's going to have to be you, is going to have to bend and get it, right? So I always say I want things that in a person that I actually am trying to do, or I am myself. I can't ask for anything that I'm not. And that's the point of, I think, what he's saying. You need to ask for things that you are. Don't ask for anything that you're not. You asking, and this is what I don't understand. And I don't have anything, because I'm a curvy woman myself. But some women that are overweight, and some men would consider me overweight. But if you are an overweight woman, you don't ever go to the gym. The gym haven't ever seen you. Or when you did go to the gym, it was back in 2001, or 2002. And you praying for a guy that's fine, that got a 6-pack, that got muscles, that goes to the gym, that looks good, I love Morris Chestnut and David Banner. Oh my God. And so you asking for somebody fine like that go to the gym 5 days a week, and you look like a mess. Okay. You don't even go to the gym. And then when you do, you're not consistent. You eat everything that's on the table. You in the refrigerator. You're not disciplined in nothing, and you wanted somebody that's fine like that. Good luck with that. That very rarely happens. Most women, when they marry these fine men and you see them look a mess, that's probably because before they was married, she probably was looking good and had everything together. Then she done had a couple of kids or something, and she look a hot mess. But people are just delusional. Just stop it. And that's why I said I ain't gonna be asking for something that I know it's not in my league. Okay, it's just not in my league. But yeah, let me keep going.
Standards aren't the issue. Entitlement is. You're not waiting for a good man. You're holding out for a fantasy you haven't earned. And until you humble yourself, God will keep sending you mirrors instead of mates. Number 7, you're swiping for a savior, not a spouse. Every time you feel lonely, you re-download the apps. Every time you feel ignored, you post a thirst trap. You're not dating, you're coping. And the more Christian women turn to dating apps out of desperation, the more those apps turn into digital graveyards for high-value, godly men. According to eHarmony research, 81% of women on dating apps say they use them to feel desired, while less than 40% report finding lasting relationships. Let's be clear. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draw strength from mere flesh. God isn't
Hey, Brian.
unhinged. The Holy Spirit doesn't use Tinder. If you're swiping for healing, you always end up in a heartbreak. You don't need a dating profile, you need deliverance. Number 8, high value men are watching and avoiding. You keep asking, where are the good men? They're watching, and they're walking right past you. Why would a man who built discipline, status, and obedience to God choose a woman with entitlement, emotional chaos, and lust for attention? According to a Zippia study, the more successful and faithful driven a man becomes, the more cautious he is in choosing a wife, prioritizing modesty, peace, loyalty, and cooperation. He's not ignoring you because you're not pretty. He's avoiding you because you're not prepared. A prudent wife is from the Lord. If a man has to choose between peace and passion, he'll choose peace every time. Godly men don't.
Most men, I don't care if they're in the church or not in church, you hear a lot of men say, I want peace. I want peace. And a lot of these beautiful women, not all, but some of them that's beautiful, that got the body, the banging body. I mean, they weren't revealing clothes. You know, they snatched, as they would say. Sometimes they are held and they are slow in a lot of ways too. And no offense, you know, not all, I'm saying some women, if you would take them out on a date and you ask them what you looking for, they will tell you some of the most outrageous things that you would ever hear. And you'd be like, and I know the man probably like, the hell, you know, and it's like, you know, you can, but you know, like I said, you know, everything that glitters is not gold. So that's why, you know, it does take you to, you know, take people out sometimes and talk to them and see where they are. But some people, you can just look at them sometimes and just say, oh, they just surface. It's nothing more. But you can't be so judgmental because it might be somebody that have a little bit more sense than you think. But that's kind of rare too. But you know, you have to just be careful, men and women. Make sure that that you are really being yourself and be realistic. You know what I'm saying? This is okay. Well, I'm not gonna go into that because then I'll have to tell a story. But anyway, I'm gonna just say this. I had this one guy and he was telling me something about what he was looking for. And he said, Selena, are you ready to be a wife? I'm like, this nigga, what he got going on? And I said, yes. You know, I was kind of nervous because the way he asked me, I'm like, what the hell he got going on, you know? And he said, I'm looking for a wife. And he was going down the list on what he wanted. And he said, you know, I want somebody that's this. Do you want this? If you was a stay-at-home mom, would you want that? Or do you want to work? And you know, he was asking me all those questions, which was some good questions. But from the first time I met you, it was like I felt like I was in an interview. Hey, Robert, I felt like I was in an interview, and it really kind of made me uncomfortable, to say the least. And then he went down the list asking me, other things that I was just like, okay, you're doing too much. You know, some people do too much, and I have to tell people you're doing too much, and I don't like it. Okay. And so in my mind, I have already X'd you out. You know, you'll just find out later that I've already X'd you out. So, but some men have unrealistic expectations. And they think a little bit more of themselves. And this man that was asking me all these questions, he had an S curl on his head that I didn't like. I thought that was very ugly. And even though it was cut like I guess in a fade, but I could tell it was an S curl because it wasn't his natural state of hair. And then he wears shiny suits. I don't like men that wear shiny suits. That's ugly. That's ghetto. That's not even country. That's just something that's out of this world. I don't like shiny suits, and I don't like S curls on men heads. And what else he had wrong with him? And he had such a flamboyant personality that just rubbed me the wrong way. And he thought so much more of himself, and he thought he was the man. And I'm just looking at him like, dude, you're not even on my level. And I don't even think I'm on a highest level, but my God, you're just not even there. She's not even close. And so I was just like, he got some unrealistic expectations, and he will probably remain single. Or if he does get with somebody, it's going to be with somebody that has half of a brain, that just want to be with somebody and be married. Because any real person, any real woman would be irritated and agitated with his flamboyant personality and his arrogance. So, shoot, I just went down. But anyway, he was just asking me too much, and he was too invasive. I don't like men who are invasive. Just let it go with the flow. Let's take our time. Just hey, we don't have to know everything. First of all, you ain't gonna know everything about me in 1 or 2 conversations. I'm not one of those women that overshare. That's number one. So if you looking for somebody that's oversharing and talk too much and tell you all her business, that ain't me. And I don't expect you to do that, because we don't know each other. So when I feel like men are like that, my connection have already been disconnected. And they'll find out once I block them. So anyway, let me keep going.
Don't choose chaos. They avoid it. They pray against it. And if you want one, you need to become what he prays for. But here's my final thoughts. You say you're waiting on a man of God. But if he showed up today, he wouldn't choose you. Because while you're flaunting flesh, he's chasing legacy. While you're building a following, he's building a household. You want a husband, but God is calling you to be a wife. And they are not the same thing. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Character, not curves. Discipline, not desperation. Order, not opinions. And here's what Kevin Samuels would say if he were here. Men are the prize. Women are the reflectors. If you don't reflect the order of God, don't expect the man of God. Stop asking God for a king when you still think like a queen of the streets. Submit to truth. Die to fantasy. And maybe, just maybe, God will give you the man you say you're ready for. But until then, keep swiping. He's not looking. And if you want to know why men are not even showing up or turning up to church in mass or in a decent amount of numbers, check this video out next.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out too. I might do a reaction on that, because that's pretty interesting to me. It might not be interesting to some of you guys, but for those who like it, hey, stick around. But it's this is Darwynn McPherson, Christian women's biggest dating problems, shocking truth. Shout out to Mr. McPherson. I really appreciated his commentary. For some people that do not agree with it, that's fine. But to me, it spoke volumes. It really did. It's like, and it just went back, and I went back to what my cousin said. Whatever, you don't have to try so hard. Beauty is what beauty is. I don't know. Beauty is what beauty does. It's something like that. I got that off of Forrest Gump, but I changed it around to beauty. Beauty is beauty does. So hopefully y'all get it. Basically, if you're beautiful on the inside, it's going to show on the outside. And you don't have to try so hard. You could, hey Divine, hey Chill, you can allow your inner qualities to come out. People can see it through your beautiful smile. People can see it through your beautiful spirit, how you treat other people, what you do for other people out the kindness of your heart, and not out of trying to be seen or trying to say, trying to get people to say, oh, she's a good person. See, some of the best givers are the people that they don't even tell you that they're giving you anything, and they don't tell other people that they're giving you anything. They just do it because they want to, that there's something wonderful, there's something about you that they just want to bless you, and they don't have to tell anybody because they know that they are going to be rewarded from Most High. And so those are the type of givers and people that really get blessed in life, and that's the beauty of them. and they see the beauty in you. There's been so many people, if they just, when they just bless me with a word of encouragement, it did a lot for me. It did more than money could do for me temporarily. A lot of the times when people give us money, yes, it may help us temporarily with a bill or with some food or whatever. But a lot of times when people speak life into you and encouragement into your heart, when you're going through things, or and they don't even know you're going through things. Hey, EMIT, they don't even know you're going through things, but they can speak something on you, and that encourages you throughout the whole week, throughout the whole month, and you'll always remember that encouraging word. And I think about when I was in, I always have stories to tell you guys. I think about when I was in high school, and it was, forgot who he was. If I see him today, I would know how he looks, but I would know who he is, but I don't remember his name. And he came to the school, to the art school that I was in, and it was in some type of program that he was signing people up for. And I was signing up for the program. And he, as he was talking to me, he said, "You know what? You have one of the most beautiful smiles." And he was like, God gave you that smile, and you keep smiling even when you're going through things, even when the devil is, or evil people are trying to do stuff to you. Keep that smile. That's the smile that God gave you. I remember those words. And that was when I was in 12th. No, I wasn't in 12th grade. I was a sophomore in high school. And I remember that man saying that to me. And ever since then, even when I'm down, and even when people piss me off, I'm feeling away, I'm in my feelings, I always remember my smile gets me a long way. I remember those words. That's why I said encouraging words. The beauty inside of him saw the beauty inside of me. And you just never know how you can impact somebody's life. So while we as women trying to look so good with our flappy dappies and our lace fronts and our makeup and our curves, or our short dresses and our thick legs and big hips and big booties, we got to remember that the beauty on the inside is what's going to sustain us. The beauty on the inside is what's going to keep that man to you, keep that man with you. And I think about how the beauty on the inside, it will do a lot for a man when he sees that in you. Yes, physically he's going to be attracted from initial on your outside probably, but once he gets to know you, especially if you have beauty on the inside, that is what's going to make him want to come home. And I hear men talk about they want peace. Well, hey, that's the type of peace they want. They want somebody that they enjoy coming home to, that they don't worry about, oh, I got to fight and argue with this heifer, all day and night. You know what I'm saying? No man wants to deal with that. I don't know a lot of women want to deal with that either. But that is what real men are going to be looking for. And that's going to sustain a relationship. So as we focus on our outside women, let's focus on our inside. Let's not be perpetrating or acting like we're something that we're not. If we're not that, if we're going to be a hoe, let's just be a hoe. If we're going to be a woman that's really trying to live a holier life, then hey, live that holier life. But we have to learn, we can't straddle the fence. It's either one way or the other. And so I don't know if anybody would like to come up, but I'm gonna say a few more things and then I'm gonna get out of here. But it says I like Carl Belton, what he said. He said them bills getting paid, bedroom rocking, chillaxing, and laid back. That's all that matters. A person's height is not realistic. Yeah. So I like that call. I hope y'all can help me at least get to my goal today. But if you can't, I understand. I'll put on this air. It's hot as hell. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not in my. Usually, I'm trying to watch what I, be, especially when I'm doing reactions of this. I want to make sure I'm not just saying anything. But honey, I'm getting more relaxed every time I come on here. He said, I disagree. I think you can't get any attractive single man on this planet. You are a nice looking woman. I don't think any guy is out your league. Okay. I appreciate you, Randy. I don't know, but I appreciate you. Randy believes in me, honey. Okay, I hear you, but I hear you, brother. Shout out to Randy LA up in the house. Somebody believes in me. But yeah. Um, what else I need to say? That's pretty much it. So shout out to Darwynn McPherson. I hope I'm pronouncing his name. I hope I'm not butchering his name. So if he ever does come across this my platform, or he ever, looks at the reaction, I hope that I, didn't butcher his name, and that, I gave my honest perception. I gave my honest, opinion of how I see things, especially kind of correlating with his content. But I really felt like it was something that people needed to. Hey, Big Red. I felt like it was something that people needed to hear, and especially those people that are in these church women, that be in the church, and and then I'm like, I be seeing so much stuff, and then that's why I said I even had to kind of get myself under control, because I'm like, it's certain things I just can't wear. It's inappropriate. It's just inappropriate, and for each to each his own. But I just can't wear certain things, and I know when I go to like church events and things like that, I always have to watch it, and I have to make sure I wear blazers to cover myself, so that I'm not a distraction. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you said it sounds like Darwin was paying attention to the issues, right? So I think he's married. So he definitely has somebody. He probably has a wife that, like I said, he watched and he saw that she was worth his time, and pursued her. You said it sounds like Dawn. Yeah, so shout out to him. Shout out to all the married men in the chat. Angelo, Big Red's a married man. Who else? Uh who else is a married man in here? Shout out to you guys. Carl, I think you are too. Not for sure. But shout out to you guys. Billy, General, who I don't know if you are. No, Smith is not married. But anyway, I'm going to end this live. Hey, Martin, I'm going to end this live. And since nobody wants to come up, but thank you so much for showing me some love. I appreciate everybody that came through. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody that came through. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will probably be going live next week sometime. I just don't know when. Again, I have a busy schedule, but I'm so glad that I finished most of my work. Okay, a shout out to Angelo. He's been married for 18 years. My God, some people can't stay married for a year. That's good, Angelo. Shout out to you. Shout out to Angelo. Okay, hold on. Let me see how to. Okay, let me put this in the chat. Paste it. Hey, Genesis, how are you? Okay, I put the link in the chat, Angelo. Yeah, shout out to all the married people. Okay, she said, go my way. Okay. What's up, Big Red? Hey, oh, you've been married for 15? Okay, shout out to you. Why? What's up, Big Red?
What's going on, little Red?
Well, what you have to add to this? I thought this was an interesting topic.
Yeah, I came in late. I don't know what's going on, but I caught the last end of what you said when you said you had to cover up and this and that. But you know what, Little Red, your 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 spirit and your aura is still gonna shine through. So they gonna pick up on that too. So regardless of how you built, which you are a beautiful black woman, and I'm confident to say that I see what I see, but you're a beautiful black woman, and but your aura and your spirit gonna always shine through. And then they look for them devils, it's still gonna damn disrupt them. They don't like that shit. So
Right.
keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I got your back, man, and it is what it is, man. I just wanted to put that out there, man, because I got a beautiful one beside me now that got my back, man, and I just see her every day, and her glow and her shine. So
Shout out to
it is
her.
what it is, man.
Shout out to your wife, Angelo. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you
Oh,
so
that's all I
much.
want to do. I know you
Thank
trying to get
you.
off here, but yes, I know you're trying to get off here, but I'm trying to let you go
Yeah,
and stuff. And but like I said, blessing to you and yours, man.
right. Yeah, SBK, he has some, I guess, a women's panel he was telling me about. So I might go over there and join that panel. Join that panel because it's supposed to be all women. But anyway, I appreciate you so much, Big Red, and it's a blessing that you guys have been married for 18 years. And I hope you guys have many more to come.
Oh hell yeah! And then look, if these damn ragged ass grandkids of mine, they don't tap everything, we be all right.
You crazy as hell.
Well, look,
All
y'all
right.
be good, man. Be safe. And be loved.
All
Yeah,
right, Big
y'all be good,
Red.
man. I'm out.
Bye. You Feedy said I was married. Does that count? Well, yeah, I mean, you've been married, so you know about the ins and outs of it. I always say, single people can sometimes give good advice, but if they've never been married, some things I don't think they should even give advice on because they have not been married. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know all the different things that married people go through. They may know some of the things on the outside from what they've seen and watching other people, but you can't tell to me, a lot of single people can't tell married people what they should do in their marriage. I just don't think that that's wise. But there's always something we can learn from people. But if this is me, I would listen to my sister who was married for 30 years before her husband transitioned. I would listen to her advice rather than I would say a relationship specialist that's never been married, because she's been married. She knows the ins and outs. She knows the death do you part. She knows, for sickness or health. That's what she understands, and she's been through it. So if I'm going to get any advice on how to be a wife, how to be a mother, it would be from people that actually were successful doing it, right? you know yes, people can give you all types of advice, but sometimes that advice might not really be valid unless they've been through something. If I've never been through nothing, how can I tell you how to make it through something? I just don't. So yeah, no, if I'm going to learn anything on how to be a wife, I ask the people in my family that have been a wife, that are a wife. For some of us, it's our mothers, it's our aunties, it's our big sisters, and cousins, big cousins that have had successful marriages. Is some For some people, I saw too, people in my church, mentors at my church. So those are the people that can teach me how to be a wife. You know, I'm not gonna take no advice just from anybody, because everybody can't give you a good advice, and everybody can't give you advice that actually is something that is very valid to actually help you. Hey, the beef, how are you? So shout out to all those married people, the people that used to be married. Hey, you've been through it. You know what it's about. So, and that's why I don't give any opinions to married people, period. That is none of my business. Okay. I learned to back out of that. I say you need to talk to God or get a counselor. I don't know. I don't give advice to married people. I don't do that. I don't offer that because that to me, I've never been in that situation to give advice. So, and most people need to take that type of, I would say, kind of ideal. You don't give advice to people you ain't been through something. You just need to be quiet, you know. And another thing, I stay out of people's relationship problems. Now, if a person is beating on you and you don't know what to do, I'm gonna tell you, you get your ass up out of there, and make sure you find somewhere to go that is safe. That's what I'm gonna tell you, you know. But as far as like when people have disagreements and arguments and in their relationships, like if my sisters or if my cousins that they in a relationship and they telling me about something, I just try to be encouraging and say, hey, I hope you guys can work it out. Maybe you should try to understand where he's coming from or whatever. But I really try not to even give too much advice on that because people in their relationships, that's their business, at the end of the day. And two things I always say that I'm learning for sure. Treat people like you want to be treated and mind your own business. And that will help you to stay out of a lot of trouble. Had I stayed mind my own business on YouTube, I wouldn't be in the mess that I'm in. I would have stayed in the background and stayed to myself, solo dolo. But I learned late, but I learned. So shout out to you guys. Love you to Reese's Pieces. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, or whenever, God willing. Thank you for coming through. Talk to you later.
Selena.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them heels on and prove.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good. We can do whatever we want to do now. I'm in my bag right now. And I got a feeling, babe. Yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other. With the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana boo boo.